You cut out.
Gary, you cut out.
I said, I think you live in New York, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay, well, you know that in some circles, and this is gonna catch on because Ma'am Donnie is running for office, and I'm not a Ma'am Donnie fan. I've been pretty obvious about that and transparent. But the terminology, they're trying different ones. The new one that's just started is, ready for this? Communism on the Hudson. And that's going to take, that or some form of it is going to take. So, he's not even elected yet, but you already live, Daryl, I hate to tell you, in a communist regime like the CCP.
Yeah, and think about what you just said. Most people, when it comes to the sound bites, go back to the same sources because they're likely going to be sound bites that they already agree with, right? So you have the whole idea about the confirmation bias. And then with the word salad, right? It became, these leftist, communist, socialist Democrats. They just kept adding words. First it was leftist Dems. Then it became leftist socialist.
Right, and I didn't bring this up to get us on a different tangent.
Yeah, no, I understand, but it's just words. Words that way.
Right, I'm just saying that we need to be, we have to listen more carefully than we do as a society. Thanks, Carol. Denise, thank you everybody who's in queue for their patience. I'm going to get to all of you, I promise. Denise.
Yeah. Hi, Gary. Hi, everyone. I do have a few points. So just to start with, the politicians, they know better. And I don't, do people not care about their legacy? For example, hearing out of her own mouth, like I see her on the screen, and Lisa Murkowski saying, well, I did the best for Alaska, but I hope this bill doesn't pass because it's bad for the rest of the country. Do they not care about their legacy? Second point is they could have already gone after waste, fraud, and abuse. They didn't need to make cuts to go after waste, fraud, and abuse. And actually, some of it is, as people have brought up, the logjam of these providers getting away from things because there's so much bureaucracy and it's maybe hard to catch them. We're just adding more bureaucracy when people now are having to log in these 80 hours and who's keeping up with that, and it's just going to be a logjam there. Another point Francine brought up about a quarter of births being covered by Medicaid. It was actually, the numbers in 2023 are 41% of births in the U.S. are financed primarily by Medicaid. And of course, in rural communities, it's almost 50%. In states like Texas, it's almost 50%. And the SNAP assistance that's being cut, children don't deserve to have to struggle for food. It has nothing to do with them, and no matter what is going on with their parents. And many mothers are not deadbeats, but it's very difficult to provide food and everything your child needs when these mothers and single fathers may be in lower income jobs, and then at the same time they have to pay for daycare, they have to pay for rent, which is not inexpensive anymore, as well as utilities and gas and all the things. And when it comes down to it, do they have money to go to the grocery store and buy what their children need? And so it's not that everyone is gaming the system and is a deadbeat. There are many people who really do need this assistance. There's a huge difference between making $12 an hour than there is people who make a nice living. And another thing is, this is adjacent to the Medicaid, is there will be significant cuts, they say, to the ACA marketplace. And that's been a great program for people who were uninsured. A lot of kind of everyday people who were uninsured were able to get health care because they had some subsidies. And it's going to hurt a lot of small business owners. I've heard, people interviewed. It's going to hurt freelancers. I have a family member who's gone back to school to better themselves, and so they're working part-time. And it's going to be more difficult to qualify, to keep up with, and more expensive for people to be insured. So there's going to be a lot of people going without. Young people will think, oh, I don't really need insurance. It's too much now. And that can't help. And then one more thing, when we talk about these rural hospitals, the